I'm Lena Hawkins, and we're at the 2023 Future of Dealmaking Summit. I am joined today by Jeffrey Johnson, Managing Director at Blackford Capital. Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you in New York here this week. Blackford Capital is nominated for 3 awards at our gala tonight. I have to say that is the first time I've heard today of 3 awards for one firm. Tell me about the awards that you're being recognized for.
Terrific. Yeah, no, we feel very lucky and fortunate and, appreciate the recognition. So we are nominated for Firm of the Year. We are a lower middle market private equity firm in West Michigan. We focus on family and founder-owned businesses, primarily in the industrial, consumer, and services space. We are also up for an award for one of our recent investment exits in a business called Quality Aluminum Products. This is a residential home building products company that we had the great opportunity to work with for a 6-year period, and we sold that business last year to Gibraltar Industries, which is a large publicly held building products company. And it was a very successful exit for our investors, and so we were happy to be nominated there. And then lastly, I'm personally up for an award for the Private Equity Professional of the Year. Wow. So I feel very fortunate in that regard as well.
Congratulations. Thank you. That is a big achievement. And it sounds like Blackford and you, I assume in your career in the industry, specialize in a lot of different places. Where does Blackford, and maybe in your career history itself, where do you really provide the most value as a firm and an individual in the space?
Yeah, so we are oftentimes the first institutional capital that comes into a privately held business that is almost always owned by a family or a founder. And sometimes a particular seller might come to us because they have generational challenges and they don't necessarily have children to pass the business along to. Or sometimes they've grown the business, but they are just looking for a partner to come in and provide some financial capital and some expertise to help them grow kind of above the ceiling that they've already reached. And so we very much think of ourselves as operators. Over half of our staff actually have come out of managing businesses as opposed to working in the finance industry. Mm-hmm. And we think that we've developed a pretty good skill set over a long period of time in terms of helping some of these smaller businesses develop their technology platforms, develop a set of accounting principles, and just leadership techniques that will enable them to move to the next level.
And have you always been in this area of private equity?
I have for a number of years. And so prior to joining Blackford in 2015, I worked for a firm called Gilbert Global Equity Partners here in New York City. I was with them for 18 years. And then I started my career at Goldman Sachs in their merger department.
So Jeffrey, it sounds like you have had an impressive career in many different spaces and cities, including here in New York. Tell me about some of the clients and people that you believe you're going to be working with in 2024 and beyond. It sounds like you work in a lot of spaces that maybe baby boomers or older generations are really going through that wealth transfer and succession planning right now.
Yeah, no, that's very much the case. And the reality is that with a family-owned business, you don't exactly know when the right time to transact with them is. It's very much a personal decision and a predicament that they kind of work through with their senior leadership teams and their family members. So you don't really know. But we've always felt as though the Midwest, which is kind of where we're based and located, is a very entrepreneurial area. You think about entrepreneurs being in Silicon Valley, but the reality is that there's an enormous number of small Midwestern family-owned businesses that make things mm-hmm. that ultimately drive our economy, and so it's really a very ripe landscape for us to try to find unique businesses that we can partner with. I think the real challenge for 2024 is going to be that financing these businesses is just a whole lot more difficult than it has been over the last several years. It's more difficult to get debt financing. It's more difficult to get equity financing. There continues to be a little bit of a disconnect between seller expectations and what private equity buyers are willing to invest in terms of taking on a new business. And so it's going to be an interesting year ahead, but I'm highly confident that there's going to be a lot of unique opportunities, and it's incumbent upon us to try to find those unique diamonds in the rough.
Well, with 3 award nominations tonight, I imagine you probably have a good team behind you to help move you through 2024 and beyond with those opportunities.
Well, we do, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey. And you're watching M&A TV. Thanks for being here.